Welcome back to Ladies of Another View on Back, and I want to welcome back our guest, Sonia Morris, who is a member of Project 21. It's an organization that is part of the National Center for Public Policy Research, and they jump into society. They write about it, they get involved, and they try to move towards a real positive way. And that's what Sonia is doing. You really talked about, we'll welcome you back first so we can see you again. You really talked about wanting to move this country in a positive direction, which the president should be doing, right?
Well, I believe that we're in a situation where we kind of have to start from scratch. There's so much corruption, there's so much negativity that we do have to introduce, a lot more of how can we fix the problem. Okay, you are very good at naming what the problem is. This is really what he was saying at the commencement speech, but you haven't really introduced, okay, how would you fix it? That's because it's not an administration that really focuses. They don't focus on solutions. That the liberals don't focus on solutions. They're very good at pointing out problems, and so that they can inflame people and with all of these incendiary comments. And it's almost like he was trying to radicalize the crowd. And I believe that at best his speech was condescending. At worst, it was racist itself, because he did say in his speech that it's not because he's at it's a black audience that he's talking about white supremacy. That's exactly why he was talking about white supremacy, because he was really trying to get the crowd going, but really in a negative way. And his job is really to bring this country together. And some of the, wherever I go, people will know, like, let's say right now I'm in the education system, closing up on maybe 3 months there. And you find that young people, they're already faced with negativity. You don't have to introduce anything, because they're living this life, and there's a lot of negative. And even at the very, very young age, we know in the education system, they're introducing some very scary subject matters to kids who are very, very young. So our education system is a mess. Our economy is a mess. There are so many messes, and there's so many things he could have talked about in terms of what he's doing to fix it, that he really, failed and lost the opportunity to do so. So I guess my prayer for this occupant of the White House, this president, that he would really kind of turn it around, and that he would, have a different narrative, a more positive narrative, because that's what we need as a country.
I agree with you in your sentiments about his speech at Howard University. I thought, are these guys actually hearing what he is saying? Are they buying any of this? I'm really glad to hear that you're in education right now and being a part of the solution. What do you see are some of the key things that you want to do in terms of educating our youth and even adults moving forward? What do you see as some of the solutions that we need to focus on?
I believe that the left should not be directing the narrative, because their narrative is one of negativity. And it seems like for some reason they're the ones who are able to direct it. And our message of unity, and this is one United States, this is it doesn't matter what color you are, there are opportunities for everybody. And so what I try to, and listen, this high school age is tough, okay, because they've kind of been already given a kind of a narrative that they're bought into. And so our job really, when we come in, we're coming in kind of as a minority, essentially, not based on skin color, but in terms of our ideology, that this is not a racist country. Like, I lived in China, I taught business at a university over there for a year. That is a racist country, and it's systematically racist, right? So they don't like darker skin and that sort of thing. But this country is not a systematically racist country. There are racist people. And so what the message has to be is, we deal with people based on the content, on their character, similar to what Martin Luther King had said, that we're not dealing with skin color. And you'll find that there are bad people who are white, there are good people who are white. There are bad people who are bad, there are good people who are bad. So if you break it down, on a level where you can tell stories, positive stories, which is what the president missed his opportunity to tell some positive stories to these students, to encourage them, to give them hope, to inspire them. He missed out on that opportunity. But I have a lot of stories, even in China. I have a lot of stories and a lot of personal experience to bring to the table so that the student can say, okay, well, I didn't have to read this in a book. Somebody really lived this. And so that's really what we have. I do. I use a lot of enhancement to educate. In terms of education, it's not just book. You're learning things in a book. So I'm a very creative person. I'm a creative, so I try to find creative ways to really encourage the students and to help them to want and to love to learn.
Sure. So we only have about a minute or so left, and I know you teach in the high school setting. What are the kids in your particular school? How are they? What is their sense going on right now? We have the Black Lives Matter. We have the president saying that we're a racist country. What are the kids talking about right now in your school system?
Well, in my classroom, you're not allowed to be negative. So we don't discuss a lot of that, and they don't discuss a lot of. I've been teaching them financial literacy based on a program that one of my siblings have developed from a book called Teen Money 101, and so that's what primarily I have been teaching them. And I've also been teaching them from John Maxwell's 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. So that teaches them a lot of the moral side of of leadership, etc. So what we focused on, like I said, not on these negative things, but you know what? Because when you bring these things into the classroom, there's going to be a lot of division. It's only going to inflame people. So we don't really talk about these things. I try to have a positive environment so that they want to learn. And there's a juxtaposition that I make between my students in China, my students in Africa, in America. Okay, in America, not just African American. In America, in China, it's the odd student that's a bad student. Here, it's the odd student that's a good student. That's somebody who really wants to learn. And so that's some of that what we're facing that we have to turn around, especially in the public school system. So we've got a mighty hill to climb, but I believe we can overcome it.
Sonia, I am so impressed with you, and I am very glad to know that you are in a Black high school, making a difference, because you're one person they can listen to, and that's what they need. I mean, I know negativity spreads, but there's a real attraction to somebody who's positive and light, because really that's the direction we all want to go in, and you're going to be happier in the end. So thank you for all your work.
Faith.
Yeah,
wonderful, and we need more of that.
Absolutely. So thank you for joining us today, Sonia.
Thank you, ladies, for having me. It's been a pleasure.
All right, we'll see you next time.